Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video brought to you by SeniorCatWellness.com. If you enjoyed today's presentation and find it informative, please feel free to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share the content. Today's video subject: do cats' noses change color with age? Before we begin, let's first take a look at today's topic overview. Cats' noses change color from pink to dark or freckled due to lentigo simplex, excitement, temperature changes, staining, bruising, allergies, Cushing's disease, and hypertension can alter the shade of a cat's nose. Also, if the nose becomes pale, the cat may have circulatory issues. It's important to understand that felines don't have a default nose color, meaning there isn't some grand baseline that can potentially change and evolve over time. Some cats have bright pink noses, while other noses look like the tip of a fresh black Sharpie marker. It all depends on the color of the fur, because those same pigments can influence the shade of your cat's nose. And keep in mind, all of this takes place before the wear and tear of life takes hold. That alone can add an extra element to things. If a cat spends years of its life with its sniffer near the ground, that can certainly take a toll. When it comes to color changes and color evolution, it's easier to spot in some cats compared to others. For example, it's quite obvious, even if you're not really paying attention, to realize that a once pink nose is now black. However, that brown to a darker brown can be almost impossible to spot. In terms of the why factor, let's set up the pins and just knock them right down. We'll start with old age. As cats get older, they develop more freckles across their skin. This is known as lentigo. These are not unlike the spots that develop on human skin during the elderly years. They're typically harmless, but they do add a bit of character to the skin. Felines experience the same. Lentigo usually begins around a cat's lips and mouth, but can later become more prominent on a feline's nose. The eyes and gums can also be affected over time. Felines with orange fur are most likely to develop lentigo from an earlier age. And no, the onset is not related to sun exposure. While lentigo can be a bit alarming from a visual standpoint, lentigo compared to melanoma have one stark difference. Lentigo spots are barely raised from the skin, while melanoma is often quite larger and more elevated. In addition, the freckles caused by lentigo are more spaced out. Lentigo spots on the nose are really nothing more than an imperfection. No intervention will be required. Just chalk it up as a beauty mark. Another reason for nose color change involves bruising. And yes, this is pretty much what you think it is: a minor rupture of blood vessels under the skin. Head on contact is typically the core explanation for nasal bruising. A tree branch, furniture, contact with a rival cat, you name it. Next, we turn our attention to nosebleeds. That'll change the nose color for sure. While blunt trauma is common, and for the same reasons as the aforementioned bruising, nosebleeds can also be due to illness and disease. In some occasions, a nosebleed can be accompanied by both nasal and ocular streaming. The next reason for nose color changing involves staining, sort of like a coffee mug when it leaves that circle on the table. I mentioned that sniffer near the ground business just a bit earlier. Well, here it is. A curious life has led to a stained smeller. The feline nose is quite sensitive. It doesn't take too much to change the color once external factors have entered the equation. While some stains can be removed almost immediately, others, well, not so much. Unless your cat has gotten into a toxic substance, most nose staining is harmless and is simply a byproduct of life's journey. Next on our list of potential color changing causes: allergic reactions. Hyperpigmentation and thickening of a cat's nose can be linked to an allergic reaction. Coughing, sneezing, itchiness, hives, vomiting, and diarrhea are also symptoms of an allergic reaction. Food is the most common source of a negative reaction, with environmental factors not too far behind. And to keep this train running and to not take up too much of your time today, let's just briefly touch on the remaining notable causes of feline nose color change. We'll start with temperature regulation. This is the changing of nose color according to, well, you guessed it, the temperature. This is due to blood vessel response to both warm and cold temps. Next, we have excitement and stimulation. darker nose color when there's a quick blood rush, and the normal lighter shade of the existing color once your pet has calmed down. Next up, we have hypertension. This is common in older cats. The higher the blood pressure, the more your cat's natural nose color will change. Next, poor blood circulation. When this occurs, your cat's nose color will become lighter due to the lack of blood flow to the nose itself. In some instances, this could be a sign of feline cardiomyopathy. Next, we have anemia, when the body lacks sufficient red blood cells to carry oxygenated blood. The result can be a lighter colored nose. Next up, vitiligo. This is a condition that removes pigmentation from the fur and the skin. Often starting at the bridge of the nose, vitiligo can spread throughout the body. The result is often the presence of seemingly random white patches. Next, we have the sun, as in sun damage. Too many UV rays over the course of many years can burn your cat's nose, thus deepening the color. Blistering and peeling is not uncommon. Always limit your cat's sun exposure. It is not healthy. And the very last of the why that we'll talk about today with respect to nose color changes is hyperadrenocorticism, also known as Cushing's disease. A feline with this disease will generate an abundance of cortisol, the stress hormone. Many times, this condition originates with a tumor in the pituitary gland. While Cushing's disease is rare in cats, obese senior felines are most at risk, especially if they already have diabetes. Hyperpigmentation is often one of the first warning signs of Cushing's disease. If you would like more information concerning today's subject matter, please click the initial link in the description box below and join us at seniorcatwellness.com. And once again, feel free to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel if this type of content is of interest to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.